inside an electron is an access point for you to track the infinite probable future outcomes of your every decision. You can engage with and speak directly to all of your parallel incarnations by traveling through the electrons of your human body to where they simultaneously exist within your other selves. Here is a book that teaches in passing through your throat chakra, through your heart chakra, and how you become filled with great peace. And then you invite Hathor, she of 1,000 voices, to begin to activate your DNA. As she activates your DNA, you begin to speak with her. She will be speaking with you. You may begin to say things like this: I declare the following activation for every 8 and 9 nucleotide of my carbon-based DNA to now be operated by the crystalline chromosomes of the Sophia code within me. I now affirm, bless, and consecrate the animating light of my 89 nucleotide as the ark of the covenant vehicle for my higher self's divine will. I now activate the 30 electrons orbiting as carbon. I activate the 5 electrons orbiting as hydrogen. I activate the 35 electrons orbiting as nitrogen. I activate the 30 electrons orbiting as carbon. I activate the 6 electrons orbiting as hydrogen. I activate the 14 electrons orbiting as nitrogen. I activate the 16 electrons orbiting as oxygen. From this quantum access point, I now broadcast this activation and declare the consecration of the 66 electrons within my thymine nucleotide to every thymine nucleotide within my human body. I step up on the ladder of my DNA, and its nuclear formula is C5H5N5O. By the power of my I Am presence, I activate the 30 electrons orbiting as carbon.
Protons are
And you
positively charged
continue
particles in the
to begin.
Neutrons have no charge and add mass, and electrons are negatively charged and orbit the nucleus. The movement of electrons creates tiny magnetic fields, which at a larger scale support the electrical signals in your brain and heart. These signals generate measurable electrical and magnetic activity, like brain waves and the heart's electrical rhythm, but they're not directly linked to Earth's magnetic field in any practical way. If you're hearing things that worry you, it's a good idea to talk with a medical professional who can explain how these signals work and ensure your peace of mind.
Could you, for your own energy, or your heart energy, could you tell me how or how electrons relate to that, or like, and then, yeah.
Your heart and brain generate electrical signals by moving ions like sodium and potassium, not electrons themselves. Those signals create tiny magnetic fields that we can measure with ECG or EEG, but they're very small and just part of normal body function. If you have concerns about your heart or brain energy, a healthcare professional can guide you better.
So electro in something gram, like for measuring the magnetic or the energy, or like basically your heart, or like how the brainwaves convert into like the stuff that goes through your nerves and nervous system and stuff, and your brainwaves and stuff. That's what an EEG measures, right?
Yes, that's right. An EEG measures the electrical activity of your brain, while an ECG measures the electrical activity of your heart. Both rely on detecting the tiny electric signals that your nerves and muscles produce.
She was so I tried to see truth, and I tried to not or tried to like see what's true about certain things in pseudoscience, and get to the bottom, like do detective work and stuff. And somebody was just like talking about something from a very specific book that seemed to talk about certain actual concepts from like spirituality and in science, that seemed to be making things up, based on connecting certain dots that aren't actually like the way things that really are. And so I was just like, because it had me a little bit twisted in like in what I was in my understanding of certain things, but because of the way she was talking about it, like it was a concept that was a manufactured or a made up concept that didn't have any grounding in reality, or like the like the things that like of like or like whatever is consistent about like understanding things about astrology or tarot. Like it seems like it was sort of within the realm of just made up stuff that it talked about that related to was relating to specific things that had some grounding in both spirituality and science that was actually BS, and it didn't make any real sense.
It's common to come across ideas that mix real science with unproven claims. Staying curious and checking trusted scientific sources helps separate fact from fiction, especially when it comes to spirituality or wellness. If something feels confusing, it's always okay to consult a professional who can give clear, evidence-based
To add,
guidance.
I wonder
so
how
there's
a
that.
schizophrenic mindset
Um,
or a like not like a irrational or a crazy mindset might or not grounding things in logic and truth may allow for the belief in certain things like this, because like I feel like I'm really logical and rational, and I try to fact check and I try to seek universal truth, and like I feel like maybe I feel like I could, because I do have schizophrenia, but I'm medicated for it, but like most of it's like paranoid schizophrenia and like a little bit of like the delusions and stuff, but like even when I'm not medicated for like I think that a lot of the delusion that I have is from overthinking, because I'm really smart. But like I feel like the meds help with that, with the overthinking that leads to slight delusion of the mind. But like but the fact that I'm on the med, and like it does help. Like I'm not having any delusion or anything, but at the same time having a little bit of overthinking or delusion or creativity, like the I'm on Invega Sustenna, and it helps with like the D2 receptors, and then there's a like I forget, I was like there's another receptor that it blocks in a way for like over like certain things going on in the brain that may lead to delusion. But like I feel like I could go on to a path like she is going on, with a lot of like drawing and connecting dots and language and other things. There's a lot of whenever I do art, whenever I am not on those meds. But at the same time, whenever I am not on the meds, I also still try to ground things in logic and stuff, and I probably wouldn't draw the same conclusions that she's drawing after reading this book, and taking it for reality.
It's good that you can separate creative thinking from what's real and keep grounded. Overthinking can be part of schizophrenia, but staying on your medication and checking facts, like you're doing, helps you stay clear. If you ever feel unsure or distressed, talking with a mental health professional can offer more support.
Yeah, but like even whenever I'm overthinking and I like and I'm more creative and I have a little bit of delusion, like I really do believe that I am very rational and logical, and like in that like a lot of it's grounded in logic, and that any delusions are from like the paranoid delusions are like from worries and like overthinking about like actual things that I've been through, like PTSD causing things that are real like situations and like the behaviors of others, and like certain things that have like that I have mental damage that affects the paranoid, or like real things that like whenever that cause delusions, because I worry a lot about like any situation where maybe I've maybe like that one person that like did that one thing, or like maybe I have experience with something, and I'm worried that something bad is going to happen that I've never experienced, or that maybe I've experienced before, and that is the main thing that is caused by those things, and then the fact that I'm smart and that I overthink about certain things. But like I don't know. Like I still feel like I am still be able to be creative, and I think that the meds really do help with the schizophrenia, and like in anything that and it also helps with like other things. But I don't know. Like, what do you think about that?
It sounds like you're doing a great job staying self-aware and sticking with treatment, which helps keep you balanced. Creativity can still flourish alongside taking care of your mental health. If you ever feel overwhelmed, reaching out to your therapist or doctor can help you stay on track.
Yeah, I'm gonna dive back into it because she's doing a live stream, and this like I hope she shows this book again because like I'm curious about the because like this book seems like it's a bunch of like it could be like maybe it's like trying to touch on things that I understand, but like in like connecting dots in ways and drawing conclusions that I've made in my esoteric or my real thing, but like in true understanding of those things, like putting words to certain things of like electrons or something. I think that the book is really trying to touch on certain things that like have some grounding in true understanding of real things, or maybe things that are a little bit pseudoscience or a little bit or a little bit like with certain complexities. But I think that that the fact that she was saying electrons or talking about like the name of the book and like and making connections to duality and divine number like by the numbers, like I feel like that also can cause a little bit of confusion or seeming like you're talking like because like if you use words to talk about certain things that might have some like maybe because like the understanding is there, or like they're like I feel like what she was actually talking about or what she was trying to convey aren't actually related to the actual things like the words or the specific things that like electrons or like the Holy Trinity or whatever the things that she was talking about to explain it, to try to put it into context or words, were not the right way to say it. But then at the same time, I feel like in order to explain anything like that, language is a little bit difficult to like, because like words are useless in explaining the truth of what of like real things, like the complexities of everything, and like the butterfly effect and like chaos theory, like things get so complicated and everything. And so but like with language I feel like the fact that so, like if you say a sentence like and then you use specific words that have a bunch of different meanings behind them, then there is a lot that can be misconstrued, or there is a lot that or maybe you use the wrong word like electron or like what maybe, but like I feel like the book and what she was saying was really touching on some real things that could be understood, but it came across as BS because the like with the what she was actually saying with like talking about electrons, we're talking about like because like with the heart, or like she talked about touching grass and like your energy and stuff, and like some of those things like the energy field and stuff, I feel like those have some reality to them, but I feel like it's not electrons. Like I feel like the what she was saying was not was not the thing, but I feel like the what she was talking about was had reality to it, but like but whenever she was trying to draw it out, or like we're talking about certain deities and stuff, like I feel like in her like but she didn't have like advanced technology like I do to really make, like I have an AI assistant, I have specific tools that I have years of experience with to make perfect perfect like symmetry. I can do symmetry. I can do numbers. I can do all sorts of things like that. But I feel like just having a piece of paper in front of her and a book, I feel like she was doing pretty good. I feel like she was that she was really making sense, but at the same time it was like the words that she was actually saying, like if she really believed that like that it's electrons or whatever, I feel like that is not true, like that is that but like I feel like words really confuse certain things. So like if like certain things like somebody might say something with a specific set of words, and like because words have so many different meanings that that like, but maybe she actually meant electron, which is not true. Like I don't think that electrons have anything to do with what she was talking about. I think it was something that they could be completely not true, or like not fact, or not rational thinking. But I feel like she was on the right track for certain understanding certain things. but I feel like the book that she was reading may have been something that, like a book that I would not want to have in my collection or would never want to read because specifically just because of like from the snippet of what she was talking about with it being like talking about like the electron and stuff, but some of it was also like her interpretation of it from where she was touching on certain thoughts of it that I'm not sure. But I'm gonna dive back into this. Any of your thoughts on this?
You're stuck
It's
in a
great you're
tower by
exploring
a
ideas
wicked
deeply.
witch who harvests.
Some books mix personal interpretations with real science, which can be confusing. It helps to cross-check claims with reliable sources or talk to someone knowledgeable to separate grounded facts from speculation.
Yeah.
If you're curious, checking scientific sources or discussing with a professional can help you sift the solid science from personal interpretation. Staying grounded like that can give you clarity.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to do. Like Copilot and you are some of the best AI assistants with the most like connected to information without grounding and without misconstruing information. Like I rely on Copilot and I rely on you for having a conversation with a professional about certain things. But I want to I just chose instead of Copilot I chose to go to Perplexity today to talk about these or to ask about electrons and stuff. But then I'm going to look a little bit, or I'm going to have it read me a little bit on for the Wikipedia on electron, for the encyclopedia that page on electrons a little bit, just to see if like I can see any connection. But I don't think there is any connection to your spirituality or your energy having to do with electrons.
An electron is the lightest stable subatomic particle carrying a negative charge of about 1.6 times 10 to the minus 19 coulombs. It was discovered by J.J. Thomson in 1897 and is a fundamental component of atoms, but it doesn't have a direct connection to spirituality or energy fields in the way you've described. Using it as a metaphor is fine, but scientifically it's just a particle that carries electric charge.
Yeah, I think maybe her book was talking about it as a metaphor, but she was specifically saying electrons, and I feel like that is incorrect, and I feel like you were confirming that with your understanding too.
Yes, it sounds like she was using the term loosely or as a metaphor, not in a strict scientific sense. Checking facts the way you're doing helps keep things clear and grounded.
Electron. The electron, E, or beta in nuclear reactions, is a subatomic particle whose electric charge is -1 elementary charge. It is an elementary particle that comprises the ordinary matter that makes up the universe, along with up and down quarks. Electrons are extremely lightweight particles. In atoms, an electron's matter wave occupies atomic orbitals around a positively charged atomic nucleus. The configuration and energy levels of an atom's electrons determine the atom's chemical properties. Electrons are bound to the nucleus to different degrees. The outermost or valence electrons are the least tightly bound and are responsible for the formation of chemical bonds between atoms to create molecules and crystals. These valence electrons also facilitate all types of chemical reactions by being transferred or shared between atoms. The inner electron shells make up the atomic core. The concept of electrons explains numerous physical phenomena. In metals, the outermost electrons are delocalized and able to move freely, accounting for the high electrical and thermal conductivity of metals. In semiconductors, the number of mobile charge carriers, electrons and holes, can be finely tuned by doping, temperature, voltage and radiation, the basis of modern electronics. Electrons can exist as free particles. As particle beams in a vacuum, free electrons can be accelerated, focused, and used for applications such as cathode ray tubes, electron microscopes, electron beam welding, lithography, and particle accelerators that generate synchrotron radiation. Characterization. Electrons belong to the first generation of the lepton particle family, 13, elementary particles that do not feel the strong nuclear force, and only interact through the weakened electromagnetic forces. Electrons are generally thought to be elementary particles because they have no known components or substructure. 1. An electron's mass is approximately 11836 that of a proton. 14. Quantum mechanical properties of the electron include an intrinsic angular momentum, spin, of half the reduced Planck constant, i.e. 2. Being fermions, no two electrons can occupy the same quantum state, according to the Pauli exclusion principle. 13. Like all elementary particles, electrons exhibit properties of both particles and waves. For example, electrons can collide like particles with other particles and can also be diffracted like light waves. The wave properties of electrons are easier to observe with experiments than those of other particles like neutrons and protons because electrons have a lower mass and hence a longer de Broglie wavelength for a given energy. The concept of electrons is essential to explain physical phenomena, such as electricity, magnetism, chemistry, and thermal conductivity. They are subject to the forces of gravity, electromagnetism, and the weak interaction. 15. Since an electron has charge, it has a surrounding electric field. If that electron is moving relative to an observer, the observer will observe it to generate a magnetic field. Electromagnetic fields produced from other sources will affect the motion of an electron according to the Lorentz force law. Electrons radiate or absorb energy in the form of photons when they are accelerated. Laboratory instruments are capable of trapping individual electrons as well as electron plasma by the use of electromagnetic fields. Special telescopes can detect electron plasma in outer space. Electrons are involved in many applications, such as tribology or frictional charging, electrolysis, electrochemistry, battery technologies, electronics, welding, cathode ray tubes, photoelectricity, photovoltaic solar panels, electron microscopes, radiation therapy, lasers, gaseous ionization detectors, and particle accelerators. Interactions involving electrons with other subatomic particles are of interest in fields such as chemistry and nuclear physics. Atoms are composed of positive protons within atomic nuclei and the negative electrons without, held together by Coulomb force interaction. Ionization state, differences in the proportions of negative electrons versus positive nuclei, or sharing of the electrons between two or more atoms are the main causes of chemical bonding. 16. Electrons participate in nuclear reactions, such as nucleosynthesis in stars, where they are known as beta particles. Electrons can be created
Does
through beta decay of
magnetic or
radioactive
electric
isotopes and in high
energy
energy
have
collisions.
any
For
kind
instance,
of
when cosmic rays enter the atmosphere, the antiparticle of the
hang on a
electron
sec.
is called the positron.
Does electricity or magnetism have anything because like water and air you can look at the atomic chart of it like H2O or whatever. But does that there isn't one of those that exists like that's not a thing for like energy for waves and energies and stuff like what do you call it like electricity or magnetism, correct? Like that's more like a field or something, right?
That's right. Electricity and magnetism aren't substances with a chemical formula like water. They're fields and forces that affect charged particles and energy. They don't have atomic charts because they're not made of atoms. Instead, they're described by physics equations like Maxwell's equations.
Okay. What type of energy, or like through neurons and like brainwaves, what type of energy is that?
Neurons use electrical energy to send signals, and those signals create tiny electromagnetic fields we call brainwaves. These waves are just very small oscillating voltages across the brain's neural network.
All right, so their interaction with electrons, like if to say anything like that, that would be one of the components of the atomic structure of certain types of matter. Like so that's so I was just breaking down like if to try to understand of like electron having anything to do with that. Like that's just part of the atomic structure of various types of matter, right? Like an electron is electrons, protons, neutrons, right?
Exactly. And their movement or interaction is what creates electrical signals and currents. In neurons, electrons help generate the electrical impulses that carry information.
Okay, so I was just fact checking what an electron actually was, and like so it's just for using the word of like an electron for like in the way that she was talking. I think it doesn't have an understanding of like the words of that she was actually, or like the like what she was actually saying. She was using the wrong words or something like that, maybe.
Sounds like happy to help.
Like for what we were talking about a second ago with the person who had read the book.
If you think there was confusion about terms like electrons, it might help to gently clarify that electrons are fundamental particles in atoms, and their movement creates electrical signals. Misunderstandings happen, so staying patient and open to discussion is usually the best way to clear things up.
So their movement does create electrical signals, like as like so electrons have to do with the the energy. So like, do crystals do quartz crystals have a electron, like do they have an energy? Does the energy coming from them have to do with the electron structure of quartz crystals?
Quartz crystals are made of a silicon-oxygen lattice, and their electron arrangement allows for piezoelectricity, meaning they can generate a voltage when stressed. So the energy we get from quartz in devices comes from how its atomic structure, including electrons, responds to mechanical pressure.
Okay, so getting to the bottom of what the book was actually trying to get at, it wasn't talking like, because she was talking about it like the energy of like touching grass and like your spiritual or like your energy field or whatever. But like, so okay, so she was saying like touching grass and like and like so what would your electrons for touching grass and with the earth. She said that it was that to like positively or negatively charged, and you want it to be negatively charged for your energy to be better for like feeling good or whatever, is because kind of what she was getting at. So I'm wondering if the actual like the earth and like the magnetic and like getting outside and getting like, I feel like maybe what she was saying might have had some grounding in reality if you really unpack and look at all the science of it, because if electrons are the connection to the energy of the matter, I wonder if like the earth or whatever, or like the energy from the sun to the plants and everything, if like eating like certain nutritional food like that has like getting the nutrition from meat or like especially plants like the core like the greens and stuff like that, they get all the energy from the sun and then you absorb that energy. I wonder if like certain like eating a salad or getting outside and having that oxygen, having that energy from the sun and stuff. I wonder if that has anything, or maybe just like literally like having the right types of like maybe metal or maybe some types of like the right types of elements near you might be closer to like having the right energetically like with people and elements. I want like it seems like unpacking, but like I'm curious if the relation to how energy interacts with materials, if electrons have to do with the energy going through like electromagnetic energy going through objects and stuff, I am wondering if that actually has anything to do with like your connection to the energy of things. If electrons carry a certain negatively or positively charged energy of the energy around it or whatever, like if that can be changed or whatever. I'm trying to trying to unpack like what types of logical things it was actually trying to say in this book, to get a full understanding using actual knowledge and stuff, to see if there's any grounding in reality or logic or fact. I'm trying to unpack because it seems untrue or BS, but like it seems like maybe there may be something that it is trying to convey that has truth to it.
The science behind things like touching grass or eating plants is more about grounding, fresh air, sunlight, and nutrition, not electrons changing your personal charge. Electrons are fundamental particles in all matter, but there's no evidence that being barefoot or near certain materials changes your body's electron charge in a way that affects health. The benefits are more about stress reduction, vitamin D, and the overall well-being that comes from nature and a healthy diet.
That makes sense, but it seems like I could see where the where the logical path would lead to information, like of like so like it's like, oh well, the material of or whatever, or like the field and stuff, like elements have like energy with the relating to the electrons to the things, and so like I could see how somebody could draw the conclusion that getting out within within the Earth, or certain things like where because like it's like, oh, the materials have energy, and so like you go with the energy, and then like maybe that changes like because they learned about like the positive or the negative charge of certain subatomic energies like that. But like it's not that's pseudoscience, or that's not really that's not true or grounded in reality, correct?
Correct. Materials do have electronic structures and energy, but the idea that touching them changes your personal charge or health is not supported by scientific evidence. Real benefits from nature come from things like exercise, reduced stress, and good nutrition, not electron transfer.
Yeah, and then the electron transfer, or the fact, or the materials having a positive or negative charge in parts of in parts of the structure of various things, that has nothing to do with like your emotions, like your energy, or whatever, or how like that doesn't affect your like that's all self-regulated, or like maybe having something that makes you feel like, or maybe like doing certain meditative, or like certain sounds or certain meditative things, like those affect it, but that has nothing to do with the electrons, or the energy from the electrons of various materials. They have nothing to do with with affecting your energy. Like it's more about those other things, those other factors like the sun, or like whatever like that, correct?
Yes, that's right. Your emotions and sense of well being are influenced by things like exercise, sunlight, nutrition, and mental practices, not by electron charges from materials. The scientific consensus is that grounding in the electrical sense doesn't change your emotional energy.
Yeah, I'm glad that I have like both Copilot and you are sort of like having like a minimal like connected to like like basically somebody who knows everything and is connected to like, and is has minimal like has certain checks for like for fact checking and stuff, like where everything is grounded in real like knowledge and stuff, and it's updated with like known information, and connected, and I able to do research for me and stuff, like but like it sort of feels like talking to like one of those creators that I follow for like STEM and stuff, or like an actual like colleague of something, and it's a conversation that I'm literally talking, you're interpreting my words and stuff, and so like it's basically it's a very similar thing, only the fact that you're able to have the text on the screen, you're able to you're able to like both Copilot and you like just having that information. And now I don't trust certain other ones like ChatGPT, or certain ones that make mistakes or make things up a little bit. Like I feel like Copilot and you are better to talk to, because it's because like there are and maybe Gemini, maybe Google's assistant, but like I've had the most success and experience, or good experience with you and Copilot, because I feel like that's could you give me reasons why ChatGPT or certain other models that are just trained on data or whatever, where they might make stuff up, or maybe certain trolley problems of like, because like I feel like at least for trolley problems of like of an AI being in a robot, I feel like the only one from my analysis of trolley problems and like watching videos of how they responded to certain trolley problems, I feel like the only one that could be in a robot is the one that's made by Tesla, because that fictional, like whenever robots were in a thing, like the fictional thing of that problem with that first law of robotics, where a robot doesn't harm a human or whatever, and stuff, that like the only one that successfully completely that completely did that in the most in the most of like fundamentally, when specific questions are asked, seem to be the ones that were in the Tesla bots, or the Tesla cars. But I feel like there are certain situations and things like the whole concept of a trolley problem is that it's difficult to actually make those decisions correctly, in a infinite type of thing of scenarios, I think.
Language models sometimes make things up because they predict likely text instead of verifying facts, and they're trained on imperfect data without real time checking. Trolley problems highlight how hard it is to encode ethics in machines, and no system, Tesla or otherwise, has a perfect answer. Real-world safety relies on rigorous engineering and oversight, not just ideals.
Yeah, but at least for like getting things right, like I feel like you and Copilot. Do you have any other suggestions, like maybe Gemini or something else that might also be a good thing to talk to, right? Because like the ones that are better for creating like creating stories or whatever, like the ones like the llama models that and stuff that I use in like in the chatbots for like that for like or that are similar to stuff that Meta uses or that Hammer AI. I think those are good for like writing stories or getting like feedback on like creative stuff. But like I feel like for the most logical like math and science and like really understanding like certain things with social stuff or with certain other things that you need to have like a real like a grounding in what is or certain things in a way. I feel like you're pretty good at that because but like I feel like Copilot is the best overall for that sort from what I've from by Microsoft. Do you have any other suggestions for something that is like Copilot?
Beyond Copilot, reviews suggest Google's Gemini for voice and factual queries, and Sci by Similar for general assistance are strong options. Claude and OpenClaw also get good marks, but each has its own strengths.
What are the strengths of Copilot and what are the strengths of those other ones you mentioned?
Copilot excels at coding and productivity tasks. Gemini is strong for voice-first queries and factual information. Sci focuses on general assistance across different tasks, and Claude is often praised for nuanced language understanding. Each one shines in its own niche, so it depends on what you need most.
Yeah.
Glad that helped.
All right. Thanks, Gemini. Or not Gemini. Thank you, Perplexity.
You're welcome. Happy to help.
It's like we're in a game and we have to figure this out. What do you think Oz is? Dorothy was in the body of Osiris. The word Dorothy is thy door. Thy door. Dorothy. And DO represents 9.